It just wasn't going to be a smooth start, was it? You could just tell right from the very off that that wasn't going to be a smooth start. We're late and I'm rushing. Right, we're live. Let's put all that behind us and get on with the show. Welcome people, it's Thursday Q&A Live with me, Phil, here in the Digital DJ Tips studio. The reason I've been rushing about is we're actually just finishing filming some stuff for our brand new course, and I literally finished that filming just a few minutes ago and I rushed around and tried to get live, and you should never rush when you're doing these things. There's a lesson for you. Do what I say, not what I do. Now, this is Thursday Q&A Live. We are Digital DJ Tips. We're the people behind this wonderful book that you will see on Amazon, in all good bookstores, on the Audible store, and in Kindle and all that stuff. It's called Rock the Dance Floor. It is the 5 steps to DJing success. It is also how we teach DJing in our complete DJ course. But there's not just one course. No, we've got 25 of them, 26 soon, because we are, as I just said, finishing the final bits and pieces on our next course right now. So we're a big DJ school, that's what we do, but this is free. This is on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch and Mixcloud Live every week on a Thursday at this time. I come live, I'm Phil, I'm the guy who started the company, and just chat DJing with you guys and girls. And that's what this is all about for the next hour. So, well, 45 minutes, sorry, I'm a bit late. So welcome everyone, good to have you here. And it's really your questions. Now the gear we've got set up here today is the Pioneer DJ DDJ 1000 SRT. Maybe you've got questions about that, or about Serato, the software that it works with. I could talk to you about those things. Or maybe you've got questions about something that's going on in the news at the moment. There's news over on Digital DJ Tips about Serato launching free visuals and a free extension for Twitch. Is Twitch streaming something you're getting into? Do you want to use green screens and free visuals and jazz up your DJ live streams like this this lady here playing in front of a load of classic artwork? Maybe you've got issues around gear, music techniques, playing out, promoting yourself, all the big things in DJing that you might want help with. We also had news this week of BeatSource adding DJ edits to its music streaming catalog. So BeatSource Link now lets you DJ with edits, you know. So is streaming music into your DJ software something that you want to do and you want some help with that? Seriously, whatever it is, we're here to help. I'm here to help. And all I ask you to do is click the share button if you find this useful. Yes, it's lovely when you click the likes and the thumbs up and stuff, but it's the sharing that really helps us to do this every week. And of course, if you enjoy it and you want to be notified, especially if you're only watching the replay, then there is where to click. Not exactly there, but you know what I mean. On YouTube especially, go hit that button and hit the bell, and then we'll tell you when we go live. But also like the page on Facebook, etc, etc. We want to tell you when we're live, and we want you to join us live. We don't want you to watch the replay. If you are watching the replay, I'll answer all your questions anyway. My team and I will get in there and do that. So don't feel that you can't ask, but we'd much rather have you here live. Right, without further ado then, let's get stuck in. So hello to everyone. I think I ought to come on with no sound more often, because it really gets you guys and girls woken up. Lots of new names telling me we have no sound, so thank you for that, everyone. Mason says, I decided on getting the Denon SC5000M players. I can't wait. We've got the SC5000. Have we got a 5000M here? No, we've just got the normal 5000s here. Oh, we've got a 6000M. This is the SC6000M. So these are great players. The 5000Ms are brilliant as well. They're both great players. They're still selling the 5000Ms, just giving you two choices. You can either go for the one with a really huge screen, or go for the slightly smaller, slightly cheaper now, one with the smaller screen on it. But they're all getting updated, and they're all a great choice if you want to go into the Denon ecosystem. So Mason, I bet you're really looking forward to that. Hello to Papa D, hi to Herb and Warfare, and GM and Dennis, who says no sound. Yeah, we got it sorted, Dennis. Check the cable, says Abhinav. No, it was pure user error. I'd forgotten to turn the radio mic on. But luckily I looked down at the levels before too long. Well, you'd have told me anyway, wouldn't you? Right, your questions. James says, live TV at the finest. At least you still make it look professional, even with the fun hiccups, Phil. Yeah, but I'll beat myself up for the next day about that. Honestly, got to try and get these things right. Tech No Beat TV says, Phil, I got your book. It was really useful. Thank you from the Philippines. Love from the Philippines. Well, you're very welcome. Glad to have helped you. And Brent's here from Cape Town. We literally have people all over the place. Any views on Play DJ for DJ streaming? So Play DJ is a DJ streaming platform that's set up about a year ago in the United Kingdom. They're kind of like going along the lines of Mixcloud, but they've got more features than Mixcloud. So for instance, they've got things like you can record your live stream set and actually play the whole live stream set back with video and stuff like that. They are a promising platform. The reason that we haven't covered this platform yet is I am worried about how legal this actually is, because they offer recordings of DJ sets and that's very hard to do. So while they might have some licensing for some of what they do, I'm not convinced, and they've yet to convince me that they've got all the licensing in place, and that's very important to us when we are recommending that people use platforms. So go ahead, use them. They're going places. The site looks a lot better than it did just a few months ago, but I would say don't rely on them being here this time next year. Put your mixes somewhere else as well, safe. But, you know, the thing with these legal things is that the whole live streaming thing is ahead of the law at the moment. Just look at Twitch. Everyone's on Twitch live streaming. It's not technically legal. You just know that Twitch are going to announce all the right licenses very soon, don't you? But does that mean you shouldn't be on there? It's a really hard question, isn't it? But anyway, in answer to your question, Play TV, yeah, give them a go, but don't rely on them as keeping a record of all the mixes you've done, all the live streams you've done. Keep your own recordings of those, just in case they are not there one day for whatever reason. Right. So the next question is from Shane. I've just got into the trial period of your courses and I've learned so much already, says Shane. Well, that's good. Good to hear that, Shane. That's what the trial periods are all about. Template says, Phil, question, what do you reckon about Touchable for iOS? I've been using it, it's all right. I've never actually used it, but I've heard good things about it. So, but yeah, I've never used it. What's the best controller for virtual DJ, says Terry. Well, Terry, you're in luck. Any controller. This one here, Pioneer DDJ 1000 SRT, works absolutely perfectly with virtual DJ, as do any controllers out there. Pretty much all of them anyway. And that's the beauty of virtual DJ. It's designed to work with pretty much anything, and they're very, very quick mapping stuff to the software. So as long as it hasn't literally been released in the last day, it's going to work with virtual DJ. So take your pick, any controller you want. One of the big things about virtual DJ that. So, you know, you can't go too far wrong with these controllers, the 1000 or the 1000 SRT. If you're going to use it with virtual DJ, I'd probably buy the 1000 SRT because it works with Serato, it can work with Rekordbox and virtual DJ, so it'll work with 3 out of the 4 big softwares. But there are lots and lots of other controllers out there. Just take your pick. It doesn't really matter that it's virtual DJ, that's the good point. Is virtual DJ actually any good? Says Positive Con. Yes, it's brilliant. It's really good software. It's ahead of nearly all the other software as far as its technology is concerned, and it's great software. It's an underrated program. So yes, it is definitely any good. Hello, Paula, over there in Dublin. Hope you're getting by with the weather. Can you do a in-depth tutorial or course on Engine OS, says Dave C. Rocker. Horrid software. Well, you probably mean Engine Prime, don't you? Engine OS is the software that's built into the engine controller, engine-powered controllers like the Prime 2, the Prime 4, the SC5 and 6000s that we just looked at. Engine Prime is the kind of the desktop software, the laptop software that you use to prepare your music. And actually, if we head over to this camera here, I'll get Engine Prime up on my screen and I'll show it to you. So in the same way that Rekordbox is used to prepare music to play off USB, so Rekordbox, that's what it is. It's also DJ software, but also it's used to prepare music off USB. This software here, Engine Prime, is used to prepare music to play on the Engine players. So it's exactly the same kind of thing. You've got your device panel and you've got your music here, and you can do your analysis and you can set your beat grids. Here's the beat gridding and do all this stuff on here. You've got 2 layers as well, so you can even do some checking that tracks are going to sound good together and mixing and so on. It's come on a long way from the earlier versions of this software. It really has. But they're about to release Engine Prime 1.6 and Engine OS 1.6, which has got a lot of even more long called for things in it, like proper elastic beat gridding and stuff like that, and a better device manager so that you can easily transfer files to and from USBs. And it is still a bit clunky. There are still things I don't like about that Engine software. The way it handles ID3 tags is a bit buggy. but it's getting there fast. So are we doing a tutorial or a course on it? You betcha, but we're going to wait until, I want to wait until it's settled down a bit, because they're adding so many things so quickly that it's kind of like our course would be out of date pretty much immediately if we made one. So yes, we will definitely be doing a course and some training on that. So Robert has some sad news here. Well, not really sad in the big scheme of things. Alan and Heath are discontinuing support for the amazing DB4, i.e. they will not upgrade to Big Saw. Yet they're still selling the mixer at £1,500. Can you recommend a good interface to enable external mode to be used with Tractor? And I cannot, off the top of my head, no. Robert is over on Facebook, so if anyone can help Robert out there, go and do that. So yeah, it's news to me that. Quite surprised, to be honest, but I guess you've got to discontinue old gear in the end. I think the DB4 came out 10 years ago, didn't it? I remember reviewing it right at the beginning of Digital DJ Tips. But yeah, go and help Robert over on Facebook if you can help. Robert, if you don't get help over there, try Global DJ Network. If you're not already in it, it's our group. And this is your setup. A screen, and it's green. It's literally green. That's why it's called green screen. So all this stuff behind me that you can see here, instead of being white, will be green. And then in your DJ software, sorry, not your DJ software, your streaming software, you tell the software that anything that's green, make transparent. So I'll be DJing here and everything behind me is transparent. In other words, you're not seeing it, it's got rid of it. And that means that in your software works on layers like this. So this layer is me. The layer behind me, you could put a picture, and then I could be DJing in Hawaii or whatever. And that's the way it works. But you can use animated GIFs as well, really easily. So you could have like movement. Now you could use full video, but that sometimes gets quite hard on your computer processor and it might get a bit clunky. But so it's really, really cool what you can do. And of course, a lot of the creativity of that stuff is in deciding what backdrop you're going to have. And of course, what you're saying is very true, that Serato giving away these free packs with all this stuff, as soon as you use one of them, then you're using something that's available to the rest of the world as well. But it's a great starting point, and if it teaches you how to do it, then I think that's a pretty good thing. But they're also saying that they're probably going to be adding to these as well. So there'll be new ones coming up all the time. So it'll be a bit like grabbing the new pack and using it before everyone else. But yeah, good point. But I think green screen is great. Now, any of you who've watched my Balcony Beats live streams that I do over on Mixcloud will know that my whole shtick, if you like, is to try and have a real life version of a green screen and have an awesome backdrop at all times. But not everyone can do that, right? So if you are stuck in a bedroom trying to live stream, then it's great to be able to green screen it. Anyway, let's talk on green screens. I'm going to be using the Zone 96 mixer, talking a lot about Alan and Heath today, aren't we? For the first time, what should I expect? A really good mixer. It's less about the effects, more about filters, really, and just so be aware that the way the filters work is different to the way they work on, say, Pioneer mixers. So you're going to have to get used to that. But it's a lovely mixer. You'll get used to it really quickly, and they sound lovely as well, Kaylin. So I hope you enjoy that. The next question I want to jump on is a question from John. Lots of people having issues with Serato crashing or freezing. It seems to be versions over 2.4 on Mac and Windows. Not heard that myself, John. I really haven't heard that. Serato is extremely stable for us, and you know, it's the first time I've heard it, so we'll keep our ear to the ground about that. Jay says, any advice on how to stop being a perfectionist? It's holding me back from putting out mixtapes. Thank you. Well, look, I'm going to have to tell you this. In about 2 weeks' time, we'll be releasing the new version of our Pro Mixtape Formula training course. So Pro Mixtape Formula was made about 7 years ago, and it teaches you how all those million-selling Ministry of Sound type CD compilations from the 90s and early 2000s were actually made. Now, the thing with making mixes is that you want to do it yourself, right? You want to be behind the gear, doing the DJing. You don't want to be messing around in Ableton, like lamely putting all your tracks together. You want to mix. You want to play your mix, right? You want to play your mix, record it, and there's your mixtape. The trouble with that is, what happens if you go wrong? So the Pro Mixtape Formula is a formula that was devised by Steve Canuetto, who is my business partner at Digital DJ Tips, because Steve's job before he worked at Digital DJ Tips was the mix editor and compiler at Ministry of Sound, and he was personally responsible for several million selling CD compilations. And he also worked with all the big name DJs that came and made Ministry of Sound compilations. And the way they used to do it was ingenious. They used to record the whole mix, but if the DJ went wrong, he or she had to go back and do that particular transition again. And if they went wrong again, they did that transition again till they got it right. Carry on, carry on, carry on. 2 or 3 mixes later, you mess the transition up, you go back and do it again. What if you mix a track in and it's not fatal, but it's a bit too quiet, or the bass was a bit low? You make a note of it. And at the end of it, you have this long version of your mix with a few mistakes in it and a few notes, bit quiet here, maybe came in a bit loud here, and stuff like that. Not enough bass. Check that this is bright enough, all those kinds of things. And then by taking those notes properly and then getting that mix into a wave editor like Audacity, which is free, you can actually tidy that up and turn it into the finished mix. And so you never have to go back to the beginning and do it again. Now this is good for so many reasons. You can make more mixes because they're suddenly not really upsetting for you, because every time you try and do one, you get to the last transition, mess it up, and you've got to go back to the beginning again. So you can make more mixes because this is a really fast way of doing it, but you're still DJing. And it's still you DJing, it isn't cheating. If it is cheating, then everyone from the very biggest name household DJs all the way down to the nameless DJs who adopt our principle are cheating as well. It isn't cheating, it's still showing you off at your best, you still did each mix. Just like, when you get a live concert of a band and it's a live album or something, they record the live performance over like 5 nights and they use the best performances of each song to give you that live album. So it's just the same thing. So Pro Mixtape Formula teaches that, but it's 7 years old. It's like we were reviewing the old course and it's like got stuff like how to share on MySpace and how to record to a CD and put track markers so that the tracks change when the track changes on the mix and stuff like that. And it hasn't got anything about Mixcloud, hasn't got anything about social media or YouTube or all the other places that people do or try to do mixes and share their material and so on. So it totally needed updating. And that course is coming out. It's the same formula that's been used to make tens of millions of CD sales. And it's the same tutor, Steve's teaching it with me as well. Both of us are teaching it. But it's totally updated for 2021 and it's coming out in 2 weeks' time. So the reason I told you that is if you're a perfectionist and your mixes have got to be perfect, then that is the way that you can still make them and still have fun making them, Jay. So hang on for a couple of weeks. And if you're not a member of Digital DJ Tips, then you better be because you won't find out about it unless you are. Or rather you will, but by the time you do, it's going to be at full price and you don't want to pay full price for it. You want to pay members price, right? So join Digital DJ Tips there. And we will let you know when that course comes available to our members at a special early bird rate. So the next question I want to pull up on the screen is for Phil, who's talking about the dreaded updates for Mac, etc. Recordbox and DDJ 1000 are now running ever so sweet. So we helped Phil last week about that. So there was actually some good news in the week about that. So we've been talking, as we always do, to all the big DJ companies, and it turns out that pretty much everything now is okay. So Pioneer, Recordbox, Traktor, DJ Pro, Virtual DJ, they all work fine now if you're a Big Saw user or if you're an M1 Mac user. The only thing that doesn't yet work is Serato. So hold off on Serato. They've got an official announcement coming at some point soon, and when they announce that, we'll let you know. But everyone else, you are good to go now with those new versions. We were very glad to help you, Phil. So Hot Madonna says, "Hi Phil, I'm wondering when are you ready to go live? Do you have to be perfect to start?" So I think you're probably talking about live streaming, aren't you? But it's the same thing with gigs. You are ready when you can cut the gaps out of the tracks that you want to play. When you can make music go from beginning to end without any gaps, any quiet bits, you are ready. Seriously. You learn more playing music in front of other people, whether it's a live stream or whether it's a mixtape. Mixtape counts because you're doing something you're then going to immediately give to other people, or a gig, than you could ever learn messing around in your bedroom. Because messing around in your bedroom is the equivalent to messing around with a ball in your backyard when you want to play football. If you want to play football, you've got to get out there and play football. If you want to DJ, you've got to get out there and DJ. And yes, you might have to pay to play in football and in DJing for your first couple of gigs, but that's okay. It's getting you out there and getting you the experience. And the gigs are going to be to 2 people or no people, or the barman and his dog, or a live stream that no one tuned into apart from your mum. But that's okay. Get yourself up and do another one next week, because your audience will start to rise as your skill level rise. You need to get over this. And this is actually back to the perfectionist thing that Jay was talking about a second ago. In this instance, perfectionism is an enemy, right? You know, let's just give you one silly example. I've been going live on Digital DJ Tips channels for half a decade, doing shows, doing stuff like this. We started off the show today. It was the biggest mess up I've done in weeks, if not months, at the beginning of anything. But it happens. And I've been doing it all my life. There's no such thing as perfectionism in anything live. There just isn't. It's going to happen. You're going to go wrong. The trick is to learn from it, but you can't learn from it unless you do it, and you can't do it unless you get yourself out there. So, hot Madonna, get yourself out there. Start live streaming now. Do it now, and you will get better very quickly. And we're here to help you. Come to Global DJ Network, ask questions. If you're a student, come to Student Hub, ask questions. We'll really gladly help you out on that stuff. So don't hold off. So, let's move on. The Mixmaster G, thank you very much, and this is something that I will actually not answer your question if I see you doing this, people. If you copy and paste the same question over and over again, what you're doing is hiding other people's questions, and you're filling up my timeline with stuff. So when I'm trying to go to the next question, instead I'm seeing yours over and over again, so it's taking me longer to find something that I want to share next with the audience. I will answer as many of your questions as I can, and those that don't get answered, my team will answer afterwards. So please, people, don't cut and paste your question over and over again. The next question is from Robert, who says, how does Virtual DJ work with the Denon decks? Does it come up on the screens, or do you have to use a laptop? It comes up, you have to use a laptop. You definitely have to use a laptop. Virtual DJ software. The only software that will work without a laptop on Denon stuff is Engine. So that's an easy one to answer. So Lou says, hey Phil, I hope you and the family are well. Well, thank you, Lou, we are well. I just got an email from Traktor with a survey. To all the Traktor users, this might be a chance to let them know how forgotten we feel. Well, get on with it, tell them. It is indeed a chance. I've not got that email. I'll check my email inbox after this. So Craig says, hi Phil, I've been practicing the Acapella bridging transition from the House Mastery course, which is awesome. Any tips for bringing acapellas in on beat with the outgoing or incoming track by ear? Right, so this is a course that we've got which is all about, it's probably really friendly for people, mobile DJs, event DJs who want to learn some techniques that will stand them out from other mobile and event DJs because they want to actually mix and not just blend stuff into other stuff. It's called House Mixing Mastery. And sorry, this is that's another another mixing course. It's Mixing Mastery, I think. No, it is. No, in fact, it's House Mixing Mastery. This is the one that that you got. I just misread what you said. Yeah, so House Mixing Mastery. So this is a course basically teaching you to mix house music, and it's very popular. It's one of our courses from last year, and this is what you are talking about here. So sorry, I misread your question there. It's Craig asking this. So one thing we teach in this course is mixing with acapellas and ways of using acapellas, even if you've only got 2 decks, to get from one track to another and stuff like that. So Craig is saying, how can you bring acapellas in on the beat with the outgoing and incoming track by ear? Now this is a really good question, and it's a very simple answer. If you want to bring an acapella in by ear, in other words, the acapella doesn't start on the one beat, it's just someone who starts singing. And most acapellas, a lot of them don't start on the one beat. You know, the beat will be going along 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And then the vocal will come in, or it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Vocal starts 1, because vocalists often, the line starts a bit before or a bit after the one beat. And that's cool. But how do you bring it in on time? Well, it's a really simple way of doing it, Craig. You sing the song in your head over the beat. You forget the song that's currently playing. You forget what that sounds like. You just hear the beat. And you're going to bring in an acapella, and you just sing the song in your head. And so let's say you're bringing in You Got the Love by The Source, by Candy Staton, by Florence and the Machine, by all kinds of people. You know, sometimes I feel like throwing my hands up in the air. It doesn't come in on the one beat, does it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Sometimes it comes on 1.5. And so the way you do that is by singing it in your head, and you just release the acapella, when that point happens in the song, you know, people think acapellas are difficult to DJ with because they're not beat gridded, but they're not difficult to DJ with, especially if you've got them at the right speed, and your DJ software should be able to do that for you. You just sing the song in your head over the top of the song that's currently playing, the music that's currently playing, and at the right point, you let that acapella go. And the reason I'm doing this is I'm so vinyl trained that, you know, that's how you start a track, but do that to let the track go. Press the cue button or the play button. So yeah, practice singing it in your head over and over again. Just set a loop going and get the acapella you want to mix and keep practicing until you can sing it in your head and let that track start playing at the right moment. You don't like my music says, hey Phil, how do I make my YouTube videos louder? Well, you upload the audio louder in the first place, basically. There's lots of ways of doing that. You need to open your video project in something like Final Cut Pro or Audition, whatever it is you use, and get that audio pushed as high as you can without it clipping, without it sounding bad. You can also apply a compressor to it. So a compressor will make the loud bits quieter and the quieter bits louder and make the whole lot overall more, give it more volume. Radio stations do this across their finished output. So a radio station, the signal leaves the studio, and before it goes to the transmitter, it goes through a compressor, and the compressor will just get that station really loud. So when you're tuning through the dial, tuning through the dial, again, showing my age, that station won't sound quiet compared to the others. So in your editing software, when you're preparing something to upload to YouTube, try adding a bit of compression, try finding that compressor feature, and that will help to get it even louder. So Ray says, I love my 1000, but it has crossfader issues. It would still play the sound even all the way over. Well, this is very normal when your crossfader starts to go. You know, the crossfader has what's called bleed, and that's when you go like that, and you can still hear this channel. And the easiest thing to do is to replace it. Now, I'm pretty sure they can be replaced on here because it's a Magvel fader, but I'm not 100% on that. So if anyone knows whether these are user replaceable or whether it has to go back to the service people to get replaced, let me know. Or indeed whether it's not replaceable at all. I would hope it is. So, you know, Ray, crossfaders do wear out, unfortunately. They wear out on all DJ gear. It's not a Pioneer thing. DJ Fetter's got a good point about this controller we've got here. The DDJ SX3 from Pioneer lets you control Serato's effects, but the 1000 SRT doesn't, and this is very true. This controller doesn't let you control Serato's effects, but the DDJ 1000 for Rekordbox also doesn't let you control Rekordbox's software effects. Why? Because these controllers have got these effects here built in on this strip down here, and this bit here is just like a Pioneer mixer in the clubs, and that's the idea. This area here feels like using a club mixer. So you've got your effects strip down here, and you've also got your color effects up here. So the effects are brilliant. The effects on this rock. So you've got lovely dub echo there, lovely pitch I just showed you, the classic noise. And filters, of course, which is awesome, wonderful. But also you've got these effects down here which can all be tied to the beat, and you've got like 20 odd of them there. So it's not like it hasn't got effects, but it doesn't control Serato's effects. That's very true. And the reason for that is that it's meant to be like using club gear. And so they've sort of said, no, we don't need Serato's effects. They're hardware effects, they're built in. You can plug your record decks in the back of there and still use those effects. So it's not a disadvantage, it's just a choice in the construction of the controller. But if you do want to use Serato's effects, buy the DDJ SX3. If you want to use Rekordbox and you want to use the Rekordbox built-in effects, buy the DDJ RX2. I think it got to RX2, that one, because those have got those controls on them. Some people like that way of controlling. I think really most people like the immediacy of using the effects just like they are in a club on setups like that one there. I certainly do. Right, next question. Is DVS a good investment? Yes, it is. If you've already got decks, DVS is a no-brainer. DVS is where you get control vinyl with like computer code on it. That's what it sounds like. If you're DJing very quietly in your room using DVS, you can actually hear it. And that controls the laptop software. So you can use your normal record decks and your normal mixer with a little interface, and it will control the software. I've probably got a DVS interface here somewhere. There's one. You plug your turntables into it here, and you plug these into where your turntables would normally plug in on the back of the mixer, and then you plug your laptop in there. And that's it. Launch your DJ software, use real turntables to control your music. Yes, it's a good investment. I mean, that's about, I think this is about $200 now, the Denon system, maybe even less, maybe it's dropped a bit in price. I don't know if you get the control vinyl with it, I can't remember, but yeah, it's a good thing. It means you can DJ on any gear. Take your laptop, and they give you CDs as well, so you can use any old CD players. You can DJ anywhere that can give you any kind of decks, so it's good. Yeah, it is worth an investment, especially if you've already got music. So Music by DJ C Sharp says, I just got an email from Trova and I've not tried it. Can you provide some information on it? It's plugged into Restream. Haven't got a clue. I got the same Restream email today. I haven't got a clue what Trova is. So I'll look into that. But right now, no, sorry, can't help you on that one. Let's put another question up. I was watching a DJ set with DJ Ease last night, and he was using the Range 70, and he was having issues with it, where the track was speeding up out of nowhere, and he had to reset it. Have you heard of this issue? No, I haven't, but thank you for bringing that to my attention, DJ Greatness. Ellis says, I've tried to do live on YouTube, but I get blocked playing the music. It's amazing they have no problem selling us the music, but when we use it, they don't like it. Well, hang on a second, you're getting into licensing there. I'm not going to go down that route. Understand what licensing is and why it's in place, Ellis. But I'll help you as far as YouTube is concerned. If you want to use copyrighted music on YouTube, make a dummy video. Just get a still picture and all the music you want to upload, put it into something like iMovie or something, outload it, output it as a video, and upload it to YouTube, unlisted, and then wait 10 minutes. And then when YouTube has finished processing it, it will tell you either there's been some copyright issues and your video is not being monetized, yellow dot, brilliant. Just go live and use those tunes and don't use any different tunes and you'll be okay. Or there'll be a red dot saying your mix is blocked. If it says that, then click into the YouTube Studio onto that mix where it says details, and it will show you every track in the mix, and it will show you the track or tracks that are causing that upload to be blocked. So just don't use those in your live stream. So that's how you get around that one. How long should you be practicing for every day, says GM Paolo. Look, when I was a teenager, when I was 20, 21, 22, really getting into club DJing, I was practicing every second I could have. Top DJs now, the top DJs earning millions and millions and millions, they don't practice at all. It's like riding a bike, they just know it. So how much should you practice? It really depends upon where you're at with your DJing, how much time you've got, where you're trying to get. If you're trying to do something that does need a lot of practice, like scratching and so on, I would say just practice for as long as you enjoy it. And as soon as you stop enjoying it, stop. This is a hobby. This is meant to be fun. Don't push yourself too hard, and don't let other things in your life suffer because of it. But, you know, right now, photography is my thing. I don't have anywhere near as much time to practice my photography as I would like. It's just life, isn't it? So I think what's more important is to make sure you make the very most of your practice and don't waste it. So having a plan, having goals that you're going to aim towards, and breaking those goals down into tasks, and then having those tasks in your calendar. This practice session, I'm going to be practicing this. This session, I'm going to be practicing that. By then, I'm going to have done this. And building towards your goals is far more useful than just saying, I'm going to practice my DJing now, and then 4 hours later, you're going nowhere and not really enjoying yourself. So yeah, I think planning it is the key. So we're talking about licensing now on Twitch. Twitch is owned by Amazon. Surely they can sort that out. Yes, they could sort that out, but they will be discussing with the record companies to pay as little as possible. That's what's going to be going on with Twitch and Amazon. They're definitely going to get licensed because they've put so much money and time into music. They've been employing people who are music industry experts to join their company. They're working directly with the likes of Serato and Beatport. It's definitely coming, but it'll be at the negotiation stage right now. So let's just have a little scroll and find something else to share with you. I like those headphones, says someone on Global DJ Network. Thank you. Those headphones are Pioneer, just a little cheap Pioneer headphones, but you can buy these different coloured pads and leads for them. So Pioneer kindly provided us with some that we could pimp up as Digital DJ Tips branded headphones. So that's what they are. And they match, of course, the book. Yeah, you notice that? So yeah, bit of fun. Yeah, they're nice, and they're actually quite good headphones for the money, so I can recommend them. How do you deal, says Jason, with the EQs on a Mixtrap Platinum FX when you swap between decks 1 and 3 or 2 and 4? Right, so this is a really good question. On DJ controllers, including this one here, you've got 2 decks. Here we've got 4 channels. So actually you haven't got the problem in this one here with the EQs, but you have got it with the pitch faders. So let's say I'm DJing on decks 1 and 2. Let's say I'm DJing on deck 2 and the track is playing at a certain speed. And I want to put another track on deck 4. So I press the deck select button, it switches to deck 4, I load the track, I start playing it, I adjust the speed, then I switch back to deck 2. I've adjusted that speed. So surely deck 2 should now be playing at that speed and not that speed where it was when I left it. But it won't be. It won't be. And this is the crucial thing to understand with any equipment that controls more than one deck with the same controls. Now, our student, sorry, I forget your name, which is why I'm calling you student, caller, and all these crazy things, has got a little mix track. And this is actually the Mix Track Pro, which doesn't have the feature on to control 4 decks. The one that's got the feature on to control 4 decks is this one here. But anyway, let me just put this down here and I'll use this to explain it. Switch back to overhead. So here, the issue we have when we use the deck select button is also the bass, mid and treble. So let's say we were on deck 2 over here. Actually, the deck select is there. We're on deck 2 here and we've turned our bass down and our treble and mids up. Then when we switch over to the other deck and we adjust them, when we switch back, you would think that this deck is going to jump to having the settings like that, wouldn't you? But it doesn't. And it's exactly the same thing. So what's going on? What happens? There is something happening here called soft takeover. And soft takeover is easiest to demonstrate. I'm going to put that out of the way now. Soft takeover is easiest to demonstrate with the pitch controls. So let me show you how that works. So if we've got, I could probably actually show you with 2 tracks. So we've got a track playing here. And I want to load a track onto the other deck. So I switch to the other deck, I grab another track, I have to switch back to Serato in my software because I was on Engine then. I grab another track. That's interesting, I haven't actually got the track loaded in my Serato there. Oh, there it is, it's appeared now. Right, so there we go, in Serato, you can see I've got that track playing on that deck. I've just loaded a track onto the other side, and I actually shouldn't have done that. What I should have done is load the other track onto this side, onto the other deck. So let's do that. Let's load another track onto the other deck on this side, this empty deck. You can see it's empty here. I'll pull a track up onto that deck now. Right, so now I've got 2 tracks and you can see them if I go into the Serato software. You can see on the left-hand side of the software, I've got 2 tracks loaded on the same deck, haven't I? Now, if I want to switch over to this deck and get this one playing and adjust this speed all the way up to there, when I switch back to here, the speed didn't change, did it? And the reason it didn't change is I need to move this back to where it was before, which was there, and then it started changing. Now the speed changes. I needed to move it to where it was when I left the deck in order for it to take up again. Here wouldn't do anything until I hit that point. It's called soft takeover, and it works exactly the same with the bass, mid and trebles if you've got a 2-deck mixer. This has got 4 decks, 4 channels. So in other words, if I moved the low down to there and I went to another deck and moved it to there and I went back to the first deck, I would have to move that back to there again in order to take over again. And it's to stop big jumps in EQ, speed and so on, and volume, in fact, if you're using a 2-channel mixer with 4 decks. It's really clever, but it can catch you out because you're like, my controls aren't doing anything. But it's really, if you think about it, the only way. So that's how it works. So hope that was helpful to you. It was Jason who asked that question. Right, let's, last 10 minutes now, let's do some more. I'm going to scroll down to some questions that were asked a little bit later on. I'm really sorry that we've got so many questions. I just can't answer all of them. I really can't. But I'll try my very, very hardest. So the next question is from Nima, who says, I have a question regarding turntablism. Is the Reloop RP4000 Mark II suitable for scratching? I don't really rate the smaller turntables from any company. It's not a Reloop thing, it's any company. I just find them a little bit plasticky and a little bit lightweight. I think the best basic turntable you can buy is the, I'll show you. I will show you the exact turntable. I'm just Googling it now on another screen so that I can do that. Is the Numark TT500, which is this turntable here. Actually, no, it's not that one at all. That's a bloody well old turntable. Let me find the exact one. I'm just going to have to keep looking. If anyone can help me out with this, because I'm pretty sure it's called the 500, but it definitely wasn't that old one. TT, is it the TT? No, that's the one that it isn't, the TT500. So someone help me out. It's the turntable by Numark that looks like the denim one, but isn't. And just for the second, I can't remember the name of it, but I'll get there. If it was just me sat at home on the NTX 1000, that's why it's called the NTX 1000. Right, now I can show it to you. So it's this turntable here. This is apparently it's discontinued, which is a shame. Try and get them while you can. They're still out there for sure. This is a brilliant turntable. For the money, it's an absolute steal. It's basically the same turntable that Den and DJ sell at twice the price. So if you can still get these, they're really, really good. They're solid metal. They're a great turntable for the money. I've just learned that they discontinued those. So there you go. Have a look for them. I think really for scratching, you want something sturdy and not lightweight. And I'm pretty sure that the Reloop 4000 from memory is quite a lightweight turntable. Scratching is something that you do need that weight in the turntable, and you'll kind of kick yourself if you don't do it early on. Let's grab some more questions. Mixmaster G is telling me that we've got some streaming issues, but you're the only person who's saying it, mate. So it could just be at your end. I know you're incredibly technical, and it's probably, if you're telling me it's my end, it is, but you're the only person who said it. Anyway, so DJ Southland says, hi Phil, I'm already done with the complete DJ course, almost done. Good stuff. Turntable and tricks course, what would you recommend next? Right, okay. So for turntable, it's definitely scratching for controller DJs. It's an awesome course. It's got a lot of people scratching to DMC standards. So head over to Digital DJ Tips. Welcome to the largest DJ school. Go to complete courses and then scroll along to scratching for controller DJs and have a look at it there. It's an awesome course if you want to up your skills in that area. But if you want to up your skills and you're not really that bothered about scratching, the course I'd recommend right now, and the one that's doing really, really well out of the blocks in 2021, is the James Hype course, of course. James Hype is hot news at the moment. And the James Hype Mixing Skills course basically shows you everything he does and how to do it. So it's a really awesome course. So those two, have a look at one of those. One of those is definitely going to work for you. Tony says, have I missed much? Yeah, you have, Tony, but you can watch the replay, my friend. What website and option do I choose to learn the fundamentals of DJing, says Jimmy? Well, our very own complete DJ course, Jimmy. What else would I say? It is the way to learn DJing. Head to our website, go to Complete DJ Courses, and go down to the Complete DJ course. But if you're not ready to spend money on a DJ course, then what I would recommend is you grab yourself our book. Now you can get this by joining Digital DJ Tips by going there. I'll give you a free PDF of it, but we've also recently put it on our website. So the PDF's great to have, but you can actually access the whole book from our website. So head to digitaldjtips.com and go to the book at the top. And you'll see the whole book is there and you can read it chapter by chapter. And the good thing about this is that we can embed all the videos that are referenced in the book directly into here. So you don't have to go and type them into a browser and stuff. They're all here. Look, there's me without a beard in the old studio. So yeah, we've finally managed to get this book online. Literally every word of the book is online. So it's a great place to dip your toes into it. And if you want to grab a course after that, that'd be great. Last 2 or 3 questions then. Can you change the key of a track using the Den and DJ Prime Go? Yes, you can. You have to do it on the screen, but yes, you can change the key of the track. I DJ like that all the time. Let's just pull something off here that's a bit different to what we've been talking about recently. This is from DJ Daz. I would never have thought of correcting a mix by doing it again and fixing it in Audacity. It's easy when you think about it, isn't it? It's simple when you realise it takes no time at all. Literally takes no time at all. I've been doing it for years, ever since Steve taught me to do it. I'll finish a mix, and normally I make 1 or 2 mistakes in a mix. It's normally because I'm in the middle of the mix and the phone rings, or the kids are around, or the dog needs letting out, and I come back and I've missed where I wanted to mix out. Just do it again, and it takes seconds, literally seconds, to do those edits in Audacity when you get good at it. So this is a great one. Sally, Phil, I'm starting to collect 45s. Any advice on the basic classic tracks to get? Look, it all depends on what you are spinning, right? 45s were manufactured up until about, I'm going to say early to mid 90s, and everything from the 50s up until then is fair game. Just collect stuff that you know you're going to want to play forever, because some of them are quite hard to get. I really, you could tell by the tone of my voice, I'm really jealous of you. One of my dreams is to get an old jukebox and fill it with like my definitive 45s. And once it's full, when a new one goes in, an old one's got to come out, and use that as my top 100 or whatever the number is that the jukebox will fit. But Sally's on Facebook, so if you want to talk classic 45s that Sally should be collecting, go over to Facebook and chat there in the comments. Vic says, hi Phil, do you have to have all the streaming portals open to see all these comments coming in on your live streams? Or do you have a way of capturing them all in one application? I have a way of capturing them all in one application. The application is called Ecamm Live, and it lets me put them all have them all in one stream. The only ones I don't get in one stream are the ones from Mixcloud, because they're not yet set up to do that. So for everyone on Mixcloud, I always get to you in one go. So hello to Murphy Motown Man on Mixcloud. He says, why can't I link my Denon DJ MC8000 to OBS? You mean you can't get the audio in, right? You need a little piece of extra software on your laptop. Look at something called VB Wire. VB Wire. Look it up on the internet. You need a piece of software like that, which will make your Denon MCX8000's audio visible, if you like, to OBS. Hi to Denny D, who is on Mixcloud as well, struggling with setting up the XDJ RX with Virtual DJ. I'd love to help you, Denny, but it would take you, me, being in the same room to figure that one out. Go ask on the Virtual DJ forum. They're very friendly over there. Positive Con is over there. Hello to you. DJ Magoo as well. Hello to you. Another MCX 8000 user. Not got time to slip that question in now, but hopefully you can get some help from the Mixcloud family over there. Right, I keep saying one more question, but I don't want to go unless I have to. Let's just grab one more from these hundreds and hundreds I've got here. This is going to be from, I want to pick a good one. Kimberly's loving You Got the Love, second you said it, so glad about that, Kimberly. Can I use, right, let's end with this one. This is a good one. Kevin, can I use a single powered speaker with the DDJ-SX or any DJ controller? Come to that. For instance, this one. Can I use a single powered speaker, and what would be the best way to connect it? Booth or master, doesn't make any difference at all. So if you want to connect a single speaker, you won't harm your unit at all. Just plug it in around the back here. Plug in to either the left or the right. Now, some software will let you set the software to mono, so you're hearing both channels through your one speaker. If not, you can get a lead which will take both outputs and turn it into one input. So you want a stereo, for instance, RCA out to mono jack plug or XLR or whatever, well, it'd be a jack plug or an RCA or an XLR. So really it's best to connect these types, which are the XLRs, to the balanced input. So if you buy a single KRK, it will have a balanced input on the back. So lead to go from there to the balance, or an RCA to RCA. There'll also be an RCA plug on the back of your speaker. In that case, get a 2 RCA to 1 RCA lead. But you can't harm your DJ gear by doing it that way. And sometimes, as I say, there's a switch in the software to turn your software to mono, so then it doesn't really matter. You can just like have one of those plugged in and the other one plugged into your speaker, and that's it. But you're not going to harm anything. That's the point by doing it that way. So just plug it in. The reason that you're asking that, if people are thinking, why would you only have one speaker? Professional monitors are sold one at a time, because each monitor has got a power supply, its own amplifiers, its own speakers, obviously, its own circuitry, and you send one output from the back of your DJ controller, like the left-hand channel goes to that speaker. The right-hand channel goes to the other speaker. So you need two cables and two power sockets, and they're completely separate from each other. So they're not like smaller speakers. Like, for instance, I've got some here. These are M audio speakers, right? These are a smaller pair of DJ speakers. This is the master speaker. This is the primary speaker. This has got a on-off button at the front. It's got little inputs around the back. It's got, hold it a bit closer for you so you can see, it's got unbalanced and balanced inputs there. It's got a little bit of EQ going on. It's got a switch, just whether this is the left or the right speaker. It's got a power socket. That's the primary speaker. The other speaker is this one here, which is the secondary speaker. And the secondary speaker weighs a lot less because it's got nothing in it other than speakers. Look, nothing on the back. All it's got is one lead. And that lead plugs into the primary speaker. And a lot of smaller speakers are like that, but monitor speakers, proper monitor speakers aren't like that. They're standalone. And so you can buy them separately. And so it could just be that Kev has only had the money to buy one so far. But that's okay. You can plug in and work that way. It's all good. It's not going to damage anything. Guys and girls, I've got to go. I always feel guilty leaving you at this point, but I'll level with you. My wife is an ultra runner and an Ironman contestant, and she has got to finish doing some bike training and head out running in about 10 minutes. So I've got to close this studio down, gather my things together and leg it home so that she gets off her bike and starts her run without sitting there waiting for me like this. Phil, you're not back. The dog, the kids. Come on, mate. So I've got to go. Don't worry though, I'll be back same time next week. I'm also back on Tuesday next week with some more DJ news at the same time. This week on Sunday, you've got a Valentine's special at exactly this time. Look at your watch now, exactly this time. On all our channels apart from Facebook, Steve Canuetto is doing a Valentine's special DJ set. And you know what Steve's like. He's got his backdrops and his green screen and stuff. So he's going to be loving the place up. So join Steve for that. And listen, if your question didn't get answered this week, come back and ask next week, or keep an eye on the comments because my team do try and answer them all as quickly as they can. Right, we're done. As I said, if you've got value from this today, please do hit share. Please do hit share. That's what helps us to do this stuff. And like I say, I'll see you next time. So meanwhile, get good, get out there if you can, and make the moments. Till then, bye.